measures having reached their constitutional majority are hereby declared passed. On the second roll call, we'll take the following. SCR 1604. Clerk will read the title.
SCR 1604, a concurrent resolution making application to the Congress of the United States to call a convention for the purpose of proposing amendments to the Constitution of the United States that impose limits on the federal government.
Clerk will call the roll.
Alley. Argabright. Billinger. Blasey. Blue. Bowers. Bowser. Clays from Saline. Clays from Sedgwick. Clifford. Orson. Dietrich. Erickson. Fagg. Faust-Goudot. Francisco. Gossage. Haley. Holscher. Klemp. Cluse. Masterson. Murphy. Owens. Peck. Peterson. Petty. Rose. Reichman. Schmidt. Schallenberger. Shane. Starnes. Sykes. Thomas. Thompson. Titus. Tyson. Ware. Warren.
Has every senator had an opportunity to vote? Does any senator wish to explain their vote? Change their vote? Senator from Johnson, Senator Holscher.
Thank you. I'd like to offer explanation of vote on SCR 1605.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Term limits are supported by approximately 80% of our citizens. With two bills on the topic introduced this session, it would seem prudent that we as a body take that first bold step in implementing parameters regarding our time frame of service. Interestingly, in previous sessions, it has been claimed that Convention of States Article 5 Convention deals with term limits and reining in government spending only. In this very chamber, we have been told that we could limit those topics. However, yesterday it was finally revealed that's not exactly the case. Because the fact is, delegates are not legally bound to any limitations of their authority imposed upon them by state legislatures or even Congress. This realization has led to over 20 states rescinding their Article 5 applications upon realization of the actual danger it poses to our Constitution. As mentioned yesterday, the John Birch Society indicates an Article 5 convention is not the mechanism to take back and rein in our federal government. Instead, it's the principal vehicle to hijack and destroy our republic. A simple rule of thumb, amendments are the means to correct defects. A convention is the vehicle to create a new constitution. I am of very strong belief that we should not be destroying our sacred, cherished Constitution. I urge the body to vote no.
Further explanation? Changes? Senator Johnson, Senator Rose.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Founding Fathers knew there would be moments in the history of the nation when the states would need to initiate amendments to the Constitution. Senate Concurrent Resolution 1604 is necessary to provide future generations the same opportunities of liberty and prosperity our forefathers gave us. The concept of a convention of states was included in the United States Constitution without dissent. Today, the fears the Founding Fathers had when they included a convention of states in the Constitution have become reality. The federal government has usurped power from the states. Today, federal overreach stifles liberty, The $36 trillion national debt is unsustainable and threatens our future prosperity. Congressional term limits are necessary to reestablish effective representation of the people. Additionally, it is obvious Congress is not going to rein in the federal government's control over the states. Therefore, it is incumbent upon the states to legitimately restore the constitutional principles which grant us the liberty and prosperity we cherish. I vote yes on 1604.
Senator from Lynn. Oh, Senator Lynn sat down. You good? All right, further explanation or changes? Seeing none, clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. With 29 having voted in favor and 11 opposed, the passage of Senate Concurrent Resolution 1604, this measure having received the required constitutional majority is hereby declared adopted.
Go Kansas! You have just been watching as the Kansas Senate voted on third reading and final action to pass our Convention of States application. They voted yes by a margin of 29-11. So what that means, folks, is that a supermajority of the Kansas Senate has voted to pass our COS application, thus complying even with the Kansas constitutional requirement of a 2/3 supermajority to pass an Article 5 application in Kansas. That is an incredible step. I don't know that it's ever happened before. It is just an amazing vote of confidence in the Article 5 process and just a resounding victory for Convention of States in Kansas today. We heard a little bit of conversation just in the form of a couple of senators explaining their votes. We heard from Democrat Senator Holscher, who cited the John Birch Society talking points. Always love it when we have the Democrats citing the JBS talking points with this nonsense about why they can't trust the process that the founding fathers gave us in Article 5, citing all sorts of nonsense and just false information about Article 5. Hopefully someone can get her straightened out. Then we had Senator Rose coming back and saying, nope, the founders gave us this Article 5 convention process for such a time as this. They knew that one day the states would need to step in and propose amendments that would put the federal government back in its constitutional box. And so we need to use this process. It was great to hear him say that. So again, Kansas Senate voting 29-11 on final action just now to pass the COS application. That application will now head over to the Kansas House of Representatives. And folks, in the meantime, we have litigation pending in the state of Kansas where the court has been asked to declare officially that the Kansas constitutional 2/3 supermajority requirement for an Article 5 application actually violates Article 5 itself of the Constitution. That's still pending. We're looking for the court to decide that issue any day now. But in the meantime, it won't matter for the Senate because the Senate actually passed with a supermajority. We needed 27 votes to get that 2/3 supermajority, and we got 29. So congratulations to Kansas. And I understand we have Regional Director Deanna Beckett. Deanna, congratulations. We don't have your audio, Deanna. Let's
There
see
we
if
go.
can
There we go.
There we go.
It is so great to have another victory. Our first, not our first, but our first house in Kansas. So that is very exciting.
Yeah. Were you surprised by anything that happened in the Kansas Senate?
Not really. I laughed out loud, with the opposition on the floor, just rolled my eyes as usual. But we know that the team has been in training. It's like they've been lifting weights for 10 years and ready for this. And they have, oh my goodness, educated all of these legislators year in and year out. And it's fun to watch. We use Slack as a communications tool, and it's fun to watch that blow up with the congratulations and the excitement all over the state and all over many states, really.
Yeah. Well, at Convention of States, our teams certainly have to learn about working, for delayed gratification, right? This is not, although some people say, Convention of States, they want a silver bullet, a quick and easy fix. This is not a quick and easy fix. Our teams are out there working, have been working tirelessly for years toward this. And Deanna, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first time Kansas has gotten a 2/3 supermajority vote in a chamber, right?
Kansas, I believe. I was thinking it was the first for COS, but I think I've been corrected by our LL in Kansas. He says perhaps West Virginia had a supermajority in one of their chambers, but it is certainly the first in Kansas since the 1978 passage of our resolutions to join the BBA.
Yeah. Well, wow. So congratulations, Kansas. I know that team has worked really hard for this. There are a lot of legislators in Kansas, and they all had to be educated. They had to be told by their constituents that the people want this. The people want the state legislators to use their Article 5 power to fight back against federal overreach. And it was just so refreshing to see the Kansas Senate act with such courage and resolve today.
Absolutely. And we look forward to the next step, which is on to the House. So if you're in Kansas, let your House representative know that you want them to pass SCR 1604.
That's right. On to the House. Okay. Well, Deanna, thanks for joining us. And again, if you are joining us late, we just passed the Kansas Senate with a supermajority vote of 29-11. Now, we will be coming back to you in a little while. There will be another live stream this afternoon for the Rhode Island committee hearing. So hopefully you can join us again in a little bit. That's scheduled to begin at 4:30. However, it's a pretty long agenda and we are in about the middle of the pack there. So hopefully you can join us a little bit later this afternoon. Deanna, thanks again. Everyone, thanks for watching.